time has come, we will stand together stronger than we've ever done. And like the sun, we will rise at dawn and never stop until we've won. The time has come, we will rise like the sun and we'll never run. And we will fight till we won. We will bite, we will smite all through the night. We'll never sleep, never rest. Put the faith to the test, the self-obsessed, self-confessed, self-professed, divinity, nobility. Your God is a fraud, so stop. We're done with the violence and the fury and the cruelty. I said we're done. We will win the war, we'll win the fight, the end's in sight. All you see in us is barbarian, but all we want is to be equalitarian. We will rock, we will never stop, standing on the top of the hilltop, and we will mock viciously, capriciously. We're tired of assault and the bigotry. You seem so full of wit and chivalry, but when we knock at your door, you'll break. We're done. We have fire in our veins and we will break these chains. We're done. We won't be ripped apart. You will be burned and battle scarred. We're tired of assault and bigotry. We'll stand and mock you viciously. Through music we captivate. Through songs and words we propagate. We'll mock and smear and slander. Infiltration, propaganda. After years is finally resolution. It's time to start the revolution. We're done.
Hello, welcome back to the Rapid Riders. It's been a minute. We are going to jump back into it, but first of all, we should reintroduce ourselves. I am Sam. I am your Dungeon Master, and amongst me are my Rapid Riders. I will start with Bree.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, can you hear me? Yes?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Good. Yay. Hi, I'm Bree. And I'm playing Diana, the Sun Elf, Bard of Eloquence / Blade Singer Wizard. Got it. And here's my monkey,
Hey,
Milo.
Milo.
Yay! He's a capuchin monkey. Okay. It's a familiar, not a real one. Okay.
I mean, familiars are real too, man.
Yeah. I'm
Real to
sorry.
me, damn it.
I didn't mean it. You are real.
Magic is
You're
real, and so is my
Aw.
monkey. That's a reference, but nobody will get. Anyway.
Magic is real, and so is my monkey.
So is my monkey.
I like that.
We
Yeah.
have.
Done.
Yeah. Cool. Ben.
Hello, I'm Ben. I'm playing Zeke Boondiggles, the half-gnome, half-dwarf, half-monk, half-warlock. Been a while since I've done that one.
Mm-mm.
All ginger, but mostly bald now. The stubble is starting to come back through. Currently doing my best Macaulay Culkin impression.
Yeah.
Like having considerable success as a child, but then moving into hard substance abuse issues.
Okay. And moving
actually tracks with my
swiftly on.
Wow.
Dora, help us.
Hello, I'm Doran. I'm playing Halite, everyone's favorite 8-foot-tall mutant of a man. He's built like a brick shithouse, stealing Bren's words, and he is here in a house, also doing his best version of the play, Home Alone.
A very good play.
It's a very good play. You should see it sometime.
We should.
We also have Seb.
Hi, I'm Seb. I play Taxes. The human of the group was once the only rogue of the group, and now is the rogue / way of disguise monk of the group. I'm with my sister. That's all I need to say.
Last but not least, we have Phil.
Hello, I'm a Phil. I'm playing Dunstan Dewey Fairfoot. He is part Dew Elf and part Halfling. He is small and he is not fierce. He is a ranger swarm keeper with a swarm of burbs that help him do many things around the house, around the garden, and around the necks of his enemies. Yeah, and he is doing his best Ralph Wiggum. I'm in danger.
Yeah. I'm with you
Because
there.
we are in trouble.
Certainly are.
Not only are we separated, we're separated from each other as well. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's the thing
What
about
are
D&D. They always say split the pie, don't they?
But the party
They do.
is
Split the
often
party.
and in as many different directions as possible.
Many, yeah.
3 ways.
Yeah. Hands up who's alone at the moment.
Yep.
I mean, me and Doran are quite fine. We've got 2 NPCs.
I'm alone
You do.
emotionally.
Why we didn't get the Diana's X part.
Because
Yeah,
of
that was the first
Diana's
time you
ex.
haven't said it. That was the first time you haven't said it.
Yeah.
True.
We've
But
got
nah, that was
all the
worse
things.
though. That was worse, so. That was worse.
Well, we rejoin
Notice I
our
didn't-
party.
Notice I also didn't say my race or my classes, because I forgot.
Okay.
Just
I
in the
thought you said your
spotlight.
class. It's
Hi,
been a shit house.
I'm Big Brick Shithouse.
That's it. That's
That's
all you
all I
need to
know.
know.
Well, we rejoin our party in the prison town of Boroughfirth, having spent the night in the quartermaster's quarters, having assumed the role of quartermaster alongside Tax's distant sister. A tense night was had by all before the party were greeted by Breloxa early in the morning to take Diana up on their early dawn patrol offer in the guise of their... goodness, my notes. Had it written down.
Oh, my name?
Reuben Breyer. I believe.
Briar.
Reuben Breyer.
Yeah.
That was episode 32. That's why I didn't have that one up. Reuben Breyer. After a quick incantation of Osland's prayer, the group set out, bringing Dewey along as an indent helper. Not too far behind, followed by Taxes and her sister Leah, whilst Zeke and Halite investigated the house which Leah has been living in for some time, learning some details about what Leah might be thinking of how she can get out of this or can help you or where her position lies. In the mines, you entered into some kind of artificer engineering powered minecart that launched you at great speed into the mountain, during which you tried to ask who made this incredible feat of engineering. Got no answer, but were able to glean through a natural 20 the grief was on the face of Taskmaster Breloxa as they were thinking about who made this.
Oh no.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
The hair on her face slowly comes away from whipping behind her to falling to her shoulders as the minecart comes to a stop. There is a vast cavern here, brightly lit with many torches, but plenty of shadows cast as there is no natural source of light in here. You see dwarves moving in vast groups off to various pathways in and out of this big cavern, with one great central causeway continuing in the direction that you have been traveling, and then one to the left and right, to east and west, as you understand them. Although if you were turned around down here, you're not sure how long you'd be able to keep your directions. Veloxa heaves herself out of the cart and offers a hand towards you to help lift you up and out of the side of the cart.
Yep.
Begins walking away, but not more than 6 foot from the rail, before looking back towards the rail, presumably waiting for her 2 guards and your companion to catch up. She leans over to you and says, "What are your first impressions?"
What are my first impressions?
This place is huge.
Yeah.
Beyond that, you can try and learn anything more about it. You can see that it is busy, it is big, well lit, which you know is not for the benefit of the dwarves, because they can see perfectly well in the dark. But there are plenty of other races in here, but mostly dwarves, gnomes, and orcs.
It's big. Efficient.
Yes, it is. I take pride in that. See, this is where we struck probably the biggest vein of iron, and so it naturally became a big cavity. Once we started installing the mines, it just made sense to have this as the vans, if that makes sense. For a while, it became the base camp. Central station, base camp, tend to be used interchangeably down here. She points to, if you go that way, you make it to the next station, which is the advanced camp. Then there's a salt stop where there was a big salt vein that we just couldn't feasibly not have a stop at. Then there's the camp after that. Then you reach the furthest point of the mine into the mountain there. There's branches off at the base camp and the advanced camp as well, both east and west. You can see them, and you can see how the rails like curve, so you could fire off to the east and west from this point, and you imagine it's similar at the advanced camp.
Alright.
Yeah, if you want to throw the map up there as a sort of general descriptor of a visual descriptor of what she's verbally describing. I'll even make it easier in canon. So here, there's a dwarf like going past, like looks like they're wearing goggles of some kind. She grabs them, tears something out of their hand, and just flicks to a few pages until you can see like a visual representation. You gather it's not to scale. Well, let's just say it's not to scale, but this is roughly where the stations stop. So you can understand why it's difficult to map everything and why we don't know exactly how many are in here. Hence your job.
Yes.
Drew this by hand because that's the only way I could feasibly think of how I could do it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you've got base outside, then you've got base camp, advanced camp, salt stop. You see on here, the one she didn't name is Camp Hayden's. And then you have E1 and W1 off of the first one, so East 1 and West 1. Next one you've got East 2 and West 2, but those are the only other sort of branching things. So you can see it continues past them, it must come to a stop, but as you intonate it, there's no launching point from there. So if you are going beyond West 1, you would have to wheel it back to West 1, the minecart, before you could then launch it. That could take days,
Right.
hours. It's difficult to tell. It's not to scale. At this point, there is a as the minecart holding 2 of the steel wall guard and a very bedraggled-looking Dewey Dunstan Fairfoot. Their hair, whatever form their hair was in, it's back now. You feel your legs come back underneath you, as this party in the mine have regrouped. The steel wall soldiers do not stop to ask; they haul you out and put you onto the side before they know if your legs are ready or not for the impact of the ground. Terra firma feels good, definitely in this moment.
There's the boy.
I'll kind of dust myself off and go to stand behind her and just be like, just look very bewildered at how he's just moved so fast.
For the scale, it's somewhere around 60, 70 miles an hour that you were just going. Through near pitch blackness towards your destination. Like the occasional flash of a torch going by. 20, 30 minutes, who knows? It's difficult to count. But it was not a short trip. You can make, if you'd like to, some kind of roll to see, like, comparably how many miles you think that would be. But it's not an easy, like...
Survival?
Survival... I think survival or perception would both apply here. Maybe investigation as well.
I was going to say, you might want to pick one because one is +3 and the other is +11.
I'm going to say perception is perfectly valid. For DC will be higher, but it's definitely your better way of doing it.
And in that case, that is 19.
Cool. You sort of just have to go like, okay, think how often were those torchlights, how many seconds in between, and you can look behind you and you can see how distant one torch is from another. That's how you sort of work this out.
Yeah.
Somewhere between 20 and 30 miles that you've traveled in that time. You think closer. You think it's probably in the middle. So a good day's normal travel at a faster pace, you might make it in just less than a day. But you just did that in maybe 30 minutes. Yeah, you can understand
up in a wagon.
why you can understand why they want to create this as a rapid. You go from the south to the north and you invade from a northern point.
They not call it a rapid ride. That's our thing.
They already have that as a project now.
No.
This is something else. You stole the Rapid Rider. They called it the Rapid Rider first.
That's
They had it. As
yeah,
a
true.
thing.
I suppose.
It was prototype Project Rapid Rider. Now
You
it's
made it
yours.
cool though.
You did make it cool.
Yeah. Once I've kind of gathered that, I guess I'd just stand behind Diana and try and not be noticed.
Yeah.
So we'll take the lead and say, usually I don't go further than here or the advanced camp. She begins walking, setting a pace, which is not too fast, flanked by her guards. There is an array of minecarts set on the opposite track, ready to head back, and she's like looking at them. Like, the previous day's haul is in here. It will be filled up over the course of the day again. Many minecarts will come up here for filling. Many will be coming back, and you can see an array of ores of different kinds. Some is just like clearly stone, some coal. Some of the ones near the back have like salt deposits, almost like Himalayan salt. That sort of pinkish hue to it. She's inspecting this. One of the guards is like very clumsily leafing through some parchment, like trying to keep a track of roughly, but really it's just cart iron tally, cart rock tally, making no note of like anything more than that. Production has been pretty stagnant, so the question is, are there not enough of them to do more, or are they holding out on us? My question as well is it all coming from one direction? Because everything from E2, the advanced camp, W2, anything from that way is coming down the same path. So I need to figure out if this is all coming from there, is one particular station holding out on us, if that makes sense. Most of the dwarves are either camped outside, or some of them we allow to camp in here, and they go out each morning. We don't allow them to camp where they work. We think they would get too difficult to control if that were the case. Anyway,
They essentially don't. They're having so much ore and material coming out. They generally don't know where it's all coming from.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is W2 lacking in its production? Who the hell knows? Because it's all coming from the same direction as W2, E2, Advanced Camp, Salt Camp, Camp Hayden's. There's no way to say. Like, most of the rock, they're assuming is from the Camp Hayden's, because that is the furthest point along. But they have no track for this, and that is why they got some quartermasters in, because they don't know if they're being held out on, or if genuinely there's just not much to mine anymore. And that's why they want a census, so that they can say, hey, there's plenty of you in here, why aren't you pulling your weight? Yeah, the job is more explained in this moment, kind of.
Well, where do most of them live?
Most of them are living in the camps outside.
Is it outside the...
Yeah, fully outside. If you look at the bottom of the map, we've got the outside stop, if that makes sense. So all those tents that were arrayed out there, that's where they drop off food. They don't take... We don't drop off food this far. If they want food, one of them can come and collect sacks and take it in here, but we try and keep them outside as much as possible. We don't want them skittering around in the dark. I want to see what they're doing.
And I assume they don't use the train.
They use the train under our supervision.
Alright.
We mostly use it for supplies back and forth, but if we have to send a dwarf or three from here all the way to the front, then we don't want them spending days and days and days walking in the dark. We'd rather just get them down there and working, but under our supervision.
Of course. Did Doran want to say something? Sorry.
I have a question for you, Sam. I'm not there, but since it's like you said, no natural sunlight down here. And you're like 30 miles underground. What's the air like down here?
It's a pretty stagnant air, but the cavern is so wide, the air exchange kind of works. It's not like they're gonna breathe so much down here that the CO2 overtakes it and there's no oxygen, that kind of thing.
But there's only really one vent, and that's the tunnel they just came out of.
Yeah, diffusion is enough down there, and maybe that becomes more a problem all the way at Camp Hayden's, to the point where you can't work them too hard, the same way you couldn't work somebody at high altitude too much. It's a good question. And
Sorry,
the DM
I was just very curious.
And the DM says, magic.
I'm going to say magic.
It just does.
Cool.
Sorry, I was just curious.
That's all right. No, it's a fair question on how the physics of this thing would work.
Stop making us bring realism into this, Doran.
I just wanted to know if the air was gross, alright?
Yeah, it's gross. Everything
I
else
think
is
so.
gross. Everything's gross.
I guess because there's campfires all down here and torches.
Everything is
Where the fuck is the gas going? Are the canaries just on every wall?
Just so I'm aware, just so I get my head around it, they all stay outside, and then once
Majority,
a day,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
like twice a day, they travel on that cart into the mines to work. Yeah?
She will clarify. So, majority of them sleep outside. We'll march them through. We'll work them 3 days or so until they're reaching a point of exhaustion, and then we'll march them back.
Oh, so they don't sleep here, but they do work for 3 days and then go back. Oh,
yes.
That's
if you let them get regular sleep, then they have time to think of all kinds of things which don't help the Empire.
No, exactly. And then I assume you have shifts. You bring more in.
Yes, yeah. We don't want them to die. We just need them to keep their mind focused on what's important.
Yeah, they can't. They're not useful if they're dead, are they?
Exactly. Again, how the biology of that works. Sometimes, yes. No.
Essentially, while she's waxing lyrical about all the different wonders of a fucking hideous prison mine, like Dewey is just quietly looking at everything, like trying to check out if there are miners nearby. He wants to see if he can gauge like how much that marries up, if they do look like they haven't had sleep in however long, looking for any sign of anyone that is like has actually got the wherewithal, if they are that tired, looking for ones that have the wherewithal that are like, I'm gonna kill you someday, like.
So this is less picking
ones versus the ones who have lost the will.
Yeah,
this is less seeing somebody who's like, and somebody's like. And this is more like intonating that. So this is more an insight check on the people that are around you here. So this would be an insight check.
I know whammies. Yes, 18, 21.
21. You're looking around you. There's a lot of dwarves who are dragging their feet, are walking straight towards where they are being directed. You see that some dwarves seem to have a position of more control or power here, in which they are trusted in some degree or have been here long enough that they have drink. Actually, I don't know if that is. That's not a nice thing to say, so I'm not going to say that. They are so deep in their belief that this is the only way out of their predicament that they are just leaning into it. So they are taking roles directing dwarves one way or another. On a 21, you see that ones that are headed to the east, definitely more tired. But there's, on 21, the people who are moving them, there's something a bit more of the grit in their voice as they are shouting out. Like they have a little bit more of their thoughts about them. They're not just dully.
That's not like steel wall guards.
No. These are dwarves who are saying, "You this group that way. You this group that way." It's just like, okay, this group down there, next group down there, second left, and then the other one's like, right, this group down this way. They have a little bit more of a life. They have more life in their voice. I think is the best way of describing it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what you get on a 21.
Sweet. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Do we all remember this? But yeah, and then if anything else, he's just looking for. I know he's never exactly seen a mine, but he's looking for anything that doesn't seem to fit, basically, and this will just continue all the while that Veloxa's talking about everything.
Relucta continues to expand on the basics and then goes into more intricate details of how many times per hour these things come back and forth, how many. Sorry, your coaster stuck to the bottom of.
No, he does that on purpose.
Okay, I just noticed that. Relucta will go into this. You have time to do that. As that is happening, taxes. You and Leah have reached the steel wall. Leah almost takes charge in a moment and says, "We're going over. Get a minecart ready. We're going to join the Taskmaster. We're going to have a look around."
Can I scout while they're getting the minecart ready?
Yeah. There's a moment where they have to get the crane over, load it up, ready for you to board. So you have time to jog up to the top of the wall if you want to do what you need to in that time. Absolutely.
Yeah, I want to scout out the camps where they are staying on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see if there's anyone that we recognise from the rebellion meeting in those campus areas.
It's going to be a hell of a perception check because you met 2 people out of thousands of dwarves.
I have a good memory.
That's a good point, actually.
16.
Was that 15?
16.
16.
Oh, I got a memory.
Lots of dwarves, lots of others as well. There seems to be a buzz of activity this early in the morning. You would recognize their faces, and they're not amongst them here. You have to guess they are already in the mine, or just one of the faces looking away from you.
Is there any one down there that looks like they're particularly taking charge? So, like, looking leadership-wise, maybe not those two individuals, but certainly look like they're guiding people.
On a 16, yeah, you see, again, these few dwarves. Some of them look like they are, lost in the sauce, just fully, I think I have a better chance of earning my ring if I do what I'm told, so they have taken on a position where they are commanding other dwarves around. So they are just like, you go, accepting people back who've like made the long journey out through the mines. Is like, get ready, rest, a couple of days. Take as much time as you can to rest because you know you're back in the mine in a few more days' time. I'm going to say make an insight check if you want to try and spot anyone who, again, might have this life about.
Yeah.
Oh
25.
No.
Right. You spot that Sam is missing.
Speaking of lack of life, Sam is gone.
Oh, do. Summon DM.
Back to us, Sam!
Wow.
Sam!
I'm back.
Hello.
I
Just
like the
decided to
captain
do an update that time, and so that's what crashed. Anyway,
25.
25. Yes, on that you would see that one of these dwarfs, actually no, this one would be a gnome. You see that there's a gnome woman. She has salt and pepper hair tied into sorts of space buns. And she's saying like, you, come on, we're gonna get some mining equipment. And then she pats one on the side, and you can see whispers in her ear, like jostles an arm into them, and like smiles with that sort of, just the sort of little fire, a little devious smile of there's something more to this. And then pats on the back and gets them going. She hasn't noticed you. Is definitely one of these people that has a bit more life, a bit more of fire to them in this moment.
I will make a mental note of that person so I can see him at some point.
Cool.
I'll come back down. And so we'll go into the mine.
Yep. The minecart loads back and over, similar to last time. Two large orcs grab the sides and move the minecart to a point where it can reach the sort of launching platform. As Steel Wall Guard pulls the lever, activates this runic sequence, and again, you have never traveled like this before. Leah seems to know what's coming and does not tell you. She grips the side, she holds herself close to it, does not offer a hand to support you. Can you just make me an acrobatics check and then a constitution saving throw like I asked the others to do?
You can take it
Sam,
anyway.
0 and 60 to how many?
Oh, fuck.
Just
Yes.
60.
19.
60.
19
19.
for acrobatics,
You keep your footing,
4 for constitution, which is not
which
surprising.
is less than 5. So, whereas Diana had it come up to her throat and into the mouth and got it back down again, you're not so successful. I would say with an acrobatics check, it goes over the side and not over you at all. You're not sure if you've crop dusted some dwarves who are just walking. You're traveling far too fast to know. I'm going to say we're back in the house briefly then, as you are rocketing towards the others in the mine and trying to keep it roughly in time with each other here. when you're all together, it'll be easier.
Zeke
Will
and
it?
Halite are currently
Zeke,
cutting out.
Halite, back in the quartermaster's quarters. You have found this. You've used charcoal. You found this etching. You know that Leah has given herself a "if I'm dead, here's who did it" note, but does not seem to have actively written a letter saying, "Here they are. Come get them." It's just a "if I die, here's who did it."
Zeke
That's
and
not-
Halite are currently just like making cardboard cutouts to put in the windows of us.
Just gonna look at it and just be like, he's happy, he's content, he's not not be in trouble. I'll leave him to it.
They did it in the play.
I gotta be honest, my guy, don't remember. Been a while.
But the windows are all done.
Cool.
Fancy boy. Braggart.
I guess that's Garrick.
I'm definitely not fancy. I'm
Look,
an elf.
I know, but we're trying to come up with a new name for you. I'm just spitballing things.
What about just Garrick?
What's boring?
Yeah, you're fucking right. What about Trainwreck?
I mean, you'd have to get in line for that one.
That's true as well.
Yeah.
Plus, what's a train?
Train, like a cargo train where you got multiple wagons and then it wrecks and it fucks the whole thing.
It's like a minecart, but more.
Trains existed as in movement of multiple goods.
Yeah.
It's just locomotives. Different. You just call them trains. I'm right. Fine, I'm gonna look at what Trainwreck is. What you?
No, it's fine. We don't while we're on stream.
No. Okay, cool.
What was that?
Anyway.
This is what causes the meltdown of Rapid Riders.
Trains mean trade.
How about cocksure?
Wow.
How is that better from bracket? That's it different from bracket.
Because I get to call you cock then.
Yeah, fair enough. Cocksure. I'm cocksure.
I'm still going to call you Garrick.
And do you still firebrand?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I haven't burned anyone in a while, but, you know.
Yeah, I feel like you're more ghost boy now.
Yeah.
Ghost boy.
He is a ghost boy.
I mean, it could be worse.
You know what? We are still all alive, which I was not betting on, so...
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Literally just sitting there, just with my spear, just a whetstone in hand, just...
Yeah.
Got nothing else to do. We've made a bunch of traps.
So sparring would be dumb.
Sparring would be very dumb.
Would be very dumb.
Did someone say sparring?
Shut up.
No, it would be very dumb. But
Is there
I
a
am...
basement to this building?
Yes, it's a wine cellar that I have seen.
Is there anything down there that's not wine, that's not water?
Mm.
Something that I can drink.
There's probably some grape juice that's still fermenting.
We can have a look. I was
That's still not
definitely
used.
distracted.
Sure. Did she try and get you to
doing
put my
what?
top burner?
She, as I remember it, she told me the one on the bottom shelf, and I felt her grab my ass and just immediately left. Just, that was not going to go any further.
I mean,
You're a playboy.
I am not. I'm just fucking hot.
she's got a good taste in ass.
a good tasting ass or a good tasting?
Taste in.
I mean, whatever you're into, we don't judge you.
I find it weird talking about Tax's sister like this.
Why?
It's weird.
I mean, should we talk about Diana's mum instead?
No, I mean, I know. I think you two don't even know Diana's mum.
No, we have no idea. Which is
I do. I grew up with her. I mean, not grew up. I was already pretty old when I came to Ireland. Well, not old, but for you guys, I was. Not maybe for you. Anyway.
Milk?
Yeah. Make an insight check.
Like, this is my first roll since we come back.
I don't like this conversation.
14.
14. This is gonna definitely need a roll. Their face is stone, as they say. I wouldn't be the one to never really looked at it that way.
That's a
Absolute
yes.
lie.
Their face is absolute stone. As far as you can tell, there's
Oh
nothing
yeah,
more to
the
glean from
insight.
that.
The insight
Oh,
might
yeah.
be.
Yeah,
But
the player.
the wording is completely just. Oh yeah, 100% then.
What is it like when it comes to that sort of age difference when it comes to elves? Like, is it okay, like in the culture, I mean, to like a 200-year-old elf dating like a 900-year-old elf? Is that okay? Like, what is that?
At what point do you all like look visibly older?
Yeah.
It's a bit later on.
Is that rude?
No, it's an interesting question. It's one of the fucked up things, right? Because the culture, as I understand it, once you are matured, once you are an adult elf, sure, there's a difference in experience between people, but it's not seen as it's a 300-year-old dating a 200-year-old. What a scandal kind of thing. Yeah, that doesn't exist. But at the same time, there are different elven communities. It's not a monolith. So the community I grew up in, that's not a huge deal. Once you're all consenting adults, who gives a fuck? But I can't answer for what it's like in Heed, for what it's like even in those weird forests way up north.
Nice people.
You've been
They
to
shot
north?
at me, but they're nice people.
Okay. Learning more about Halite.
Learning more about Halite.
I
Here's one for you.
Yeah.
Can't do it with drinks, but anyone got coppers on them?
Rummages through his pockets, finds a couple of copper pieces and like
Just gonna
spray.
take out a handful of copper pieces and just spread them out evenly. He's like,
God.
No, I only have 315 gold.
Learning more about Halite.
So, have you been arrested more times, or have I? This includes you, Hal. We're not talking about just here, we're talking about back home.
Teenage years are my handicap for this.
Mm-hmm.
I was not always smart. I'm not wise, but I know my stuff. I can recognize a pattern, and when I have been fucking up a pattern repeatedly, young Garrick did not. So I'm going to say I've been arrested more times than you have.
Hal?
I've been arrested less times than both of them.
Are we talking single digits or double digits, or
I'm talking
big fat
single
zero?
digits. Zero. I was going to say 0 is a digit, so 0. Not being arrested.
Oh.
It's the free city of Sarai. Do you think there are rules there other than murdering people is bad?
I don't know. I've never been to Sarai.
Been to Sarai.
There's not many rules there. As long as you don't like be a general dick to people, you're good.
Fucked
Yep.
then.
But usually it's just the people sorting it out, not the general government. Is that right, Ben? Cool.
General government.
General government.
Yeah, it's pretty much the rules in Sarai, as far as I understand from this idea.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, drugs are allowed there.
I don't know whether that city would be good for me.
It's known quite widely about the City of Pleasures. You know.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't be good for me.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go.
Cool.
It's a good place to go after the rebellion to celebrate.
Take you up on that.
You won't remember the celebration, but you know.
And that's the sign of a good celebration.
I agree. Right, who's been stabbed most? And as you settle into this game of... yeah, I would say I'll leave this scene as you are settling on this game of who's done this most and learning a bit more about each other. We rejoin in the mine. For the last few sort of 5-10 minutes, I've been going up the line as these mine carts have been sent rocketing back with resources. But yes, Dewey and Diana, are you doing anything else in this moment as we're sort of reaching the end of the line of like, okay, here's today's haul, the next one will come along here, or the night's haul almost?
I want to know where the most amount of people are at one point. It could be in here, it could be out there.
Okay. Make me a perception or investigation check. There is no sunlight.
I assume there is no sunlight. There's that, like, the one little beam, and I'm like... I can see!
I cast sunlight just to do this.
Oh no, I'm dead now. Oh no, that's a 10.
A lot of like quick movement of peoples. There's a lot of people congregating here, but most in the central station seem to be the bigger, burlier folks, whether that is really hench dwarves or orcs that are just powerfully built. Same with Goliaths, they have it here as well, Giantkin. Moving these crates, mine carts into place before they can be launched, sort of between station points as well.
In base camp, did you say?
Yeah. You see the majority, on a 10, you see the majority of people are heading further down towards the advanced camp down this central causeway. That's where the majority of the workforce is being made to go. But there are still people going east and west to EU1 and W1. It's not like those are tapped resources. People are still actively mining to the east and west. But the majority of people are being sent, you imagine, to dig this central causeway, finish this railway. That's what, the bulk of the workforce is being made to do here.
Okay. And do we know if there's more down there or more outside? We don't know yet. Okay.
It's your job.
That's your job.
It is. It is. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
You're beginning to realize if they pause production for a couple of days, they might be able to do this more efficiently in terms of taking a census. They won't do it.
All big all the time.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, how are they looking? If I can thieves cant to Dewey. Because I know he's sort of standing behind me, so I want to thieves cant behind my back. Look around for who. Kind of like what Taxes did. Who is sort of like beaten down and who might have a bit of fire. Who looks like maybe that they just have fire in them, they don't want to be here. You know?
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye out. You mentioned earlier on about the sort of the trusted miners that were sort of leading people about. Looked a little bit more with it than the majority of miners. I'll just keep looking for people that are more awake and more
And the big guys as
library
well.
set.
Who would
On the big guys. Okay.
big guys who would join? Who would fight?
I would call this another insight check. And I'll say, as you're doing this, your attention is drawn by another cart coming down the path from outside to the base camp, as Taxes and Leah are pulling up. Leah looking slightly worse for wear.
11.
Leah. Taxes looking slightly worse for wear. 11. Again, you catch the odd person who seems to have a little bit more energy about them.
That one's tall.
Seems more to the east than the west, but yeah, of the big folk, they look like they're so focused on the heavy lifting they're constantly doing, but they're not talking to each other, they're just working, so it's hard to intonate who is a little bit more with themselves rather than just lost to the work.
Can I also do that insight check?
Yeah.
Oh, I got a natural 20.
Nice.
Genuinely, that's like the third one in a row.
Yeah.
On an insight.
Who
On
are
insight
you?
specifically. Something's happening.
Something is wrong
Is Diana
here.
learning from Taxes?
Maybe.
How long did you
About
leave that
fucking time.
dice in dice jail?
This one hasn't been in dice jail. What do you say, Sam?
Was it about fucking time Diana's learning from Taxes?
Hey, are you learning from me?
No? Maybe?
No.
It was just sister last session.
I'm going to crystallize some things that have sort of been intonated here. Definitely more to the east than the west. People seem to be having that fire about them. You gather if there were people to talk to about rebellion, maybe they'd be that way. Amongst the bigger people, like that are almost being used as beasts of labor, almost. Most of them seem to be just very stone-faced, just get the job done kind of thing. Hard work, they have nothing else that they can think about. But you do see that there are a couple amongst them. It doesn't look like there's like east or west kind of thing. They're just milling around here. There are a couple who are definitely a bit more aware, a bit more looking around, interested in what they're seeing rather than lost to the depression of it all. On a natural 20, to the west, you notice that there is one dwarf with a bright red beard standing near one of the torches so that it's visible, even in the colour of the very little colour that is down here with your dark vision, who is looking at the people coming by, and as people are going by, they're grabbing somebody, looking them up and down, like checking their teeth, and then they are grabbing them, whispering to them, and then pushing them further along. They don't even look like they're in a position of particular power here, but nobody is touching them. Nobody is going to them and saying, hey, get back in line. They seem to be almost an entity to themselves. It's a good spot on a lucky roll, but this guy is, seemingly... He looks pretty wild-eyed in the fire, but you can't tell if that is just the torchlight giving the bright light down here, but he's just sticking out because of that.
Okay. Wow.
And he is west. He is the one on the west. Everybody else who looks like they have anything about them is to the east.
Weird.
Okay, cool. Is he like looking at us, or is he just sort of? You said he was grabbing people.
He seems very focused on the dwarves that are coming like through the west tunnel, and is holding them and looking at them. He doesn't seem much interested in what's going on in the sort of big central cavern. Just people who are headed west already.
Interesting.
Hasn't noticed you beyond. There's the taskmaster and some cronies. That's nothing new.
Yeah.
And at this point, the minecart pulls up, and Leah and Taxes. Leah will give you a hand out because she can see that you are. You've lost whatever breakfast you took on before coming.
Taking her hand, she didn't give me a warning.
She did not.
That's very funny though. We're right there as well, aren't we?
Yeah, you're not like more than 100 foot away. As the Taskmaster makes a brisk pace, bringing your party to theirs.
Yay!
And I can make a big circle around where people are.
My partner.
Ruben. Hey.
Okay.
I'll speak, and Nia Mue. It's good to see you here. You're of course very welcome on the Dawn Patrol. I just thought it seemed like you were very tired. I didn't wish to wake you.
Understand, Taskmaster. Wish you got here. Very interesting.
It certainly is. There's no mine like it in the known world, in all of Osasris. Even the great dwarf holds are dwarfed by this.
I don't.
Any nearby dwarves
Dwarf.
like?
Yeah, you don't even have to roll like passive insight. Some of them are like grumble, and you can hear like a stalker as so much better. You don't even know what you're talking about.
Once taxes arrived, I would sort of just step over and open up like the bag that I've got that's got sort of parchment to be drawn on and stuff like that, as if she wants to like sketch anything out just to offer to her.
I would probably take my book.
Leah will take some parchment. So, well done. She didn't say thank you so much as a well done. You're used to this as an indent. It's
Yeah, well done. I didn't have to tell you to.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's as much praise as she can give without dropping the masquerade kind of thing.
Yeah. Like nod, step back.
I'll say Taskmaster. Should we? Are you gonna? Should we go and start mapping the mine?
Leah knows the mission already. Hopefully she has some insight and she shared some of that. And Leah says, yes, Taskmaster, I've been informing them of my work so far. What we hope to do is potentially provide rations or increasing rations in order to bring them forward out of the mines. Obviously, it's going to be a bit more difficult when we have the process mid-operation, but it's certainly something we can do. Again, taking all the credit for your guys' ideas.
Oh, yeah.
But you can see that the Taskmaster is sort of like half listening, half looking around kind of thing. She never seems quite fully settled in here. Yeah, okay, very good. Well, I will leave you to it. I will leave you my guards. I'm going to take a cart here, and they will protect you. If you are alarmed, then I would recommend making your way out. Obviously, there are those in here who would seek a faster way out. Don't hesitate to give it to them. And she looks to her steel wool guard. If they don't want to work, they don't have to. Put them in the ground.
They're already
Okay.
in the ground.
I'm sorry?
Nothing. I didn't say that. They were already in the ground, lol. Alright.
Do I invoke Ben rules where you said it?
Am I right? No. No.
No. Okay.
No.
She sticks around another 5 minutes or so, just going through what has been collected in the order of the day before she will get in a minecart and rockets towards the outside.
Okay.
We should have word of warning about the minecart next time. That will
I'll warn you next time. I'll
Okay.
warn you next time, but it's going to go very fast. Don't worry, I'll do that.
You didn't like that then?
No.
How is Scar the Raven doing after the minecart?
Wait.
You less feathers.
Scar has quite a few less feathers and is looking wild-eyed around and just... it doesn't look like anything... It would just look like black blood comes seeping out of their mouth.
Doesn't seem healthy.
Is there anywhere we can like speak that's not within earshot of like the guards or anybody else?
You can... They're currently escorting you. If you tell them you need a wide berth, keep going.
Yeah, okay. I want to go west.
Towards the wild-eyed
Oh yeah.
gingerbread. Okay.
Gingerbread. And I'd like to sort of say,
Oh.
you know, it's not really necessary. I think we feel quite safe. I
I feel like this is more persuasion than deception.
Yeah. Would you mind staying here with the carts for when we come back? You know?
Make the check.
Okay. 25.
Do it. It's difficult for them because they have been given an order to escort you, but on a 25, they look to each other, look to you. Yes, that is the orders. We were told to make sure that you are safe.
Yeah, we're safe.
Do be aware some of them are, as the taskmaster said, not exactly happy about their position. They will just need to understand their position, but you know this. We all know this. Okay, we will stay by the cart. Are you needing to travel by cart, or are you traveling by foot?
Ooh, that is a good question. I think, are we traveling by cart? Did you say, Sam, that it was like a couple more days in?
You don't know how far that, there's no scale on this map. It could be that is a couple of days towards W1. Certainly you saw the dwarf with the big beard, the wild eyes in the distance. They are walking distance away from you. Like, not even a minute.
Yeah. Do all those dwarfs look like they're walking, or are they getting onto a cart and then going?
The majority of dwarves are walking as a long march towards the west. But the impression you've got here is if you're not on the cart, it's like it could be a day, it could be 2 days to your destination.
I can't. So shall we get there?
Yeah. Oh.
You guys have the authority to use those carts, so.
Oh yes, I think we'll use the carts.
Very well. All 1, 2, 3, 4 of you. You should all fit on one cart. It might be a bit snug. Are you taking? It's assuming you're taking your indent as well.
Yes, it's very useful.
Of course. We can load you up into one cart and we can send you to W1. Of course. Right this way.
Fantastic.
Load you up onto the cart.
I'll hold on
and
this time.
Leah says, "We're about to go very fast now." We couldn't hear you there, Seb. But I assume.
Good. This says
as the cart goes rocketing again, there is a flash of the torchlight before you, once again rocketing through the darkness. This time it feels less straight. It feels like there's a little bit bumps as you're going. You know what to expect this time. There's no constitution check necessary, but you have to hold on a couple of times as you slam into each other a little bit. It feels vaguely maybe curving to the left slightly, so a little bit further northwest. But you rocket forward into the darkness.
And it's just us this time, isn't it? They are not on.
It's just you four. Yeah, you have no escort.
Oh my god! I should not have drank that much wine. Ugh.
Yeah. It's like getting a train journey after a hangover. It's no fun whatsoever. No, it's more like roller coasters after a hangover. Yeah. As you are rocketing through the darkness, Zeke and Hallett, there is a small pile of copper pieces in front of all of you as you've won them back from each other after naming various things. I think Hallett definitely won most stabbed. It wasn't even a contest. There was a... what other contest would have been? Most tattoos. I think Hallett would have won by a hair with... I think Garrick would have come second, but Zeke wasn't too far behind. I'm not sure if
Zeke doesn't have any tattoos.
Nope, yeah. So it would have been a close follow-up, but Hallett would have won, I think. Yeah, there's been so many that you guys cannot remember what the names of all of the questions asked.
Piercings, Zeke would have won.
Yeah. There's a certain point where it gets to the end in any one of these games where you make it so personal that only one person could possibly win.
Yeah.
So
go on, make it personal.
It becomes like most number of ghosts that are haunting you.
I mean, I don't really know how many is in this thing, but
fewest times that a weapon has been used that you carry everywhere.
It's a family heirloom, all right?
Most
I've yet to use the spear on someone.
Most Mue sisters flirted with.
Wow.
Most people flirted with it in general.
Yeah, most people flirt with in general. It gets lost after a while before the piles are once again roughly even. Okay. Well, we learned more about Hallett and we learned more about Zeke. And me.
What does Vex think of all this? Just staring at
Vex is just watching, and then you occasionally hear her mumble her guess to herself.
Aha!
You could have joined at any time.
She's not always right, but she's right like 80% of the time. She doesn't want to join in, but she's happy to guess.
70% of those correct guesses were of the newly branded cocksure.
Yes.
I can get that tattooed on if you want.
You want to tattoo cocksure on me?
Right on his forehead.
Good.
No.
And then you could win these
Right
copper
in his
coins
forehead.
back.
Not yet.
Nope.
Alright. Wait until later on tonight when we get more wine.
Think about it, you could quite literally then be a dickhead.
Like, what we could do is I can't remember what you look like. But
Ridiculously handsome.
Like a very pale elf who never likes to wear a shirt.
But we could, shave a part of your hair, write it there, and when your hair grows back, no one would ever know.
I do kind of have an undercut. I've been thinking about growing it out, but...
So we could put something there, and then it would just grow out and no one would know.
Elves live for 1,000 years.
Yes.
It will
And
be
1,000 mistakes
for
shall happen.
1,000 years.
Right. I'm a cocksure now.
I have spit all over my computer monitor.
Oh no.
In 100 years, I could be a wise sage who people come to for advice. Oh, great. Garrick, how did you defeat the entire empire basically by yourself?
If he lets you do it, just tattoo wanker instead.
I mean, he can't see what I'm doing back there.
I will.
How about we do it in Thieves' Cant or whatever is that language that you.
That's a good idea.
Christ.
Glad that we're almost gonna die and we got these little
I
few
will let
things.
you tattoo Cocksure in Thieves' Cant on my elbow.
Really, the elbow is like the hardest place, like just a tattoo in general. No, not just
Just-
tattoo, but the pain.
Okay, like just above the elbow here.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, the elbow sucks.
The elbow sucks to get tattooed.
Yeah, okay. Just above the elbow, like underside of my forearm. On my
Right.
not forearm.
Bicep.
If I can tattoo something on the back of your neck.
You gotta tell me what
I'll
it
have
is
to.
first.
I'll teach you how to do it, and then you can.
That's
Okay.
fine. You can do it. You can do it on me. What are you tattooing first?
I haven't decided yet.
Then,
It's an
then,
IOU
when-
tattoo.
then tell me when you decide.
Okay. Do we have a deal?
I back
I'm
up.
not even drunk. Why am I doing this?
It's
is
because
a
we're
good
bored
question.
alone in a house with nothing to do.
Lads.
God.
Lads.
On that note, before we do this, which I'm definitely still into, should we be doing something more here? We've got the whole town of Burfirth that we could be doing something.
Oh shit.
Not really.
Ah.
But, I mean, you can. Vex can. Me and the
Yeah,
big guy, we can't really go anywhere.
Okay, well, I'm definitely still into this in theory. I'm going to turn invisible and go have a look around the town so I at least have our bearings of where we are, and if we need to make a hot exit, how we can get out.
Yeah, that's why we're going through the back door.
Vex can
We
like
fold all the windows.
make you all invisible.
We've set the roof up. We've cleared the roof of all the snow. We've cleared all the windows out and put bed sheets ready to throw down them so we can abseil down the windows. We've even done the doors so we can get through the doors real quick.
I did all these cardboard cutouts so they don't know where they are in the house. Where they are in the house.
We have actually last session been actually very smart and actually done a lot of planning, and now we've just got nothing to do.
We also made a lot of nail bombs.
Yes. We took every nail out of something that wasn't the flooring or the walls or the roof. And
Don't sit in
made
that
them
chair.
That's what you can do. I am going to go and have a look around.
Sure.
I have my ring. I'm not recognizable. I'm going to go and see if I can establish some connections here.
Cool. Don't get caught.
I won't.
I mean, there's no way of us contacting you if you do get caught, so please don't.
I mean, watch. And he takes a copper piece and he chucks it. As your eyes follow the copper piece, it like spirals a little bit and then comes to a clatter. And then as you look back, can you make perception checks for me, please?
This man is so good. Ah, 18. It's almost the best I can ever do.
You do not
Also
see
an
it.
18.
Damn it!
You do not see him. He Batmans his way out.
Whoa! He turned into a copper coin.
That's impressive even by his standards.
Whoa!
Vexation just like looks towards the two of you, looks up at the ceiling and says, "Just don't get caught, all right?" And as you look up, you can see he's like holding on for something.
Do you want to take all your money?
It's my money.
He won it.
Yeah.
I'm good. And then he, as he's falling, he casts invisibility on himself, which he could have done to start with, but he didn't.
Could have just done that.
And
I appreciate the theatrics.
yeah, by the
Yeah,
time
this
he
is
hits
great.
By the time he hits the ground, he is invisible. You hear a slight movement of the door as they go off to try and establish some underground connections here. Somebody who might be interested in rebellion, that kind of thing.
I'm gonna grab Vex.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna wander off with her.
Okay.
Bye.
Uh,
Alex
Look.
is sitting in the middle of the floor by himself.
three equal piles of coins in front of me.
Look, we're having a short person conversation.
You have the monkey. You have the monkey.
Yeah.
I'm playing
Also
with
part of the show.
Someone has
see
the
my lord.
monkey.
You can go play with my
Milo looks up at you and goes, and then puts a single coin forward. You have no idea what being asked.
Damn,
Thieves'
that's
time.
crazy.
Did we establish that Milo needs to can't? I can't remember.
Yes. Yes, we did.
No.
Can Milo communicate?
I remember
No,
being
but
angry about it.
I'm teaching him. Thieves
I know.
can.
I mean, like monkeys can learn sign language.
They
and
can,
stuff. It's
yeah,
possible.
yeah. I'm teaching him, so he
Okay.
knows how to say.
All I remember is being angry about it.
He knows how to say "your shit."
Yeah.
That's it. Your shit at the moment. That's it. So he does that.
The best they do, you can
A couple of
you gather
times.
they say something along the lines of most bananas.
Many.
How many bananas I can eat, monkey?
But you
Throw
take
most shit.
yeah. Who throws shit furthest?
Milo.
Pretty sure I did so.
Milo throws shit furthest.
Actually, throw shit.
We will come back to that.
Milo.
Zeke and yeah, Vexation will come along with you. What's up?
Uh-oh.
Need to ask a favor, and I'm not good at asking for favors from people that. People. You need to do me a big favor.
I'd like to.
Make sure your boy doesn't get so attached that this entire operation falls apart. I know he's known her a long time. I know he's never stopped loving her, but I want it for them. I want them to go and enjoy themselves. I want them to have a place, live in the sun, do whatever the hell elves do. But they're a little bit like love-struck teenagers at the moment, and I'm terrified that they're going to get themselves caught.
I get that. You've also asked me to make sure he doesn't break your heart. So, at a certain point, you might want to ask him this, but I understand why you're asking me. I definitely have some influence with him.
Near nothing
He's-
possible to ask him when he's always around Hal.
That's true. It's not an easy situation by any means. I've done my best to guide him as I can. It's not always so easy as saying Vex knows best. I genuinely think he means the best.
I know he does.
I also think his heart is in this rebellion.
I know it is. I wouldn't be walking around with you both if it wasn't. I would have cut you loose a long time ago if I thought you were anywhere near a detriment.
Thank you.
But
And I think if it comes to Diana or the rebellion, there's nothing that you or me could say to change the answer we know he would give.
mm-hmm. So, question for you then.
I would make sure.
Oh no, I know that one. Talking about not a week, not a month. Don't mind me asking. How far through your lifespan are you?
Rude to ask a lady, though.
Didn't ask how old you are, I asked how far you were through it.
semantics to a degree that impresses a bard, so well done. Wait. I've lived a lot. I've lost a lot. Found a little bit more.
What's the plan after this for you?
For a while, I want to make sure it doesn't happen again. And then I want to tell the story of it. And then I want to tell the story to my own children. Not that I have any. Not that I have any yet. Just maybe they're not even going to be mine by birth, but I think somebody needs to know what happened, how we stopped it, if we stopped it.
Good dream.
It's something. Doesn't keep me going.
We're a bit beyond that. You're not as senior as me, but we've lived enough that we feel it. We've aged enough that we know it. If something happens to me, make sure that those kids stay all right.
Something happens to me, make sure Garrett doesn't die doing something that isn't appropriately stupid.
That I can promise.
And she says really loudly, she turns back, that I have sung on the most stages of any of you. And there's been like...
Just because you've sung on more doesn't mean that... Oh, no, I can't say that.
Hey, you're a rock band or whatever that is.
I hit things. Apparently people liked it.
With him back, it's just shit everywhere.
Shit everywhere. You and Milo, Milo's nodding respect towards you. He's won, but he probably can't win, to be fair.
Somehow he has one, and he's
somehow
100 gold pieces from Halite.
Yeah,
yes.
Nice.
He's like heavy breathing because he's had to put his everything into this.
Has unconscious on the floor.
Milo stood on Halite like, ah!
You see him citing something, and Vexation is looking at you. I'm not going to translate that.
Please tell me you know prestidigitation.
While Vexation has a look in their mind catalogue and the DM loads to see if they have...
They're just staring blankly at this image of an 8-foot man having a half-foot monkey stand on top of him while the entire room's covered in shit.
Does not have
banging on his chest. Like,
king of shit.
I'm gonna go into another room that doesn't allow me access to downstairs because I need it.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it, Hal. I'm just gonna wander through to one of the back rooms so it doesn't smell like, monkey shit.
That's not monkey shit.
That's worse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Moment where I realized...
We rejoin our group in the mines as we...
We rejoin the story.
Yeah.
Join the plot
I it's probably been about an hour, so I will redo my disguise self.
Yes.
There's
a point along the minecart travel, probably nearer the end, that you have to do that.
Oh. So did the dwarf with the red beard, was he like was he walking along? Was he right next to the?
He was at the entrance to
Could
the
we have? I wanted to make like eye contact with him before we.
If you made eye contact from the cart, as you were about to jettison off, you would have had maybe the space of half a second of eye contact. As just like.
Would it have been weird that we like walked a little bit to see him and then back into the cart? That's weird, isn't it? That's just too weird.
You described it perfectly. Yeah, you just walked up, eye contact, back to the cart, just faked him out, and then walked back. It would have been noticeable, yes.
Yeah, sure.
But eye contact from the cart, it's certainly reasonable that he would have looked up towards a cart that was traveling in his direction and caught your eye for half a second.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sure. Why not?
And then, whoosh.
Yeah. I would have told them, like, okay, this is the most likely place that they're gonna be. If they're gonna join us, okay?
Again, this is the west, not the east, where they had... Yeah.
The west is where you said, wasn't it?
Yeah, east is where most people had the fire about them.
Oh, I think said... Wow.
No. But the west is where this one wild-eyed, bushy-bearded dwarf was.
That's it, right? East and west.
If you'd like to go east, we can say that that's what you were intending to do, and definitely say that you went east instead.
Yeah, most fire.
Most fire, yeah. People who have the most life about them.
Yeah, cool.
So you go east to that direction. Yeah, no eye contact with the dwarf in that direction.
Yeah,
the red beard, as we'll call him.
And while we are it probably can't do it when we're traveling at this speed.
You'd have to shout it if you could have a conversation.
I want to. If we stop and then we are like fairly alone, we're probably not alone.
There's one steel wall guard. No, probably a couple of steel wall guard here. One who's like manning the launch station, and then a couple who are just there for security. But if you walk a distance away from the carts, then you'll have some privacy.
Yeah, try and get some.
Get away, yeah. It's more like it's just like it takes about 2 seconds, but I want to like hug Dewey, which is the most like affectionate probably.
Yeah,
but
he just kind of like judders a little bit.
Yeah, just
from someone who's just kind of had his shoulders tensed the past hour and a half.
Yeah. That's what I kind of like, cause I'm like, okay, I feel that I have done, or I'm probably about to do something that's not very nice to you. So I just gives Dewey a hug.
Okay,
that's it.
It's okay. I'm just like, it's okay.
I know.
It's okay. I get it.
I know.
It's the thing we got to do.
I know. Ugh.
Miss my birds.
I know. I have a little canary down here.
Yeah, good. I am the entire time. I am clocking any canaries in cages. Like...
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You missed that, Ben. Give Dewey a hug.
Oh.
I know. It's gross.
Is he dying or something?
You are?
Is he dying or something?
Things go wrong.
No, he's just supposed to be my indent, and it makes me feel uncomfortable, so I gave him a hug. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm done. Done with that.
Yeah. So, clarify again. We've gone east to where you saw most people with fire, not where there was the crazy beard dwarf.
Alright.
There is a as you reach this wide cavern with lots of dwarfs about. It doesn't look like there is, I said, much guard presence here. There is one working the station and 2 more steel wall guard who are in this place, just sort of forming a barrier so that dwarfs can't bum rush for minecarts. But at the same time, there are lots of there's maybe 6 or 7 of these more powerfully built racers who are helping load minecarts on as dwarves bring like smaller just wheelbarrows full of ores, load up the carts ready to go. You see that there is only one other connecting station here. So there's the way that you came. So it'll be 2. So there's where you came back. There's maybe 500 foot traveling deeper into this big cavern here, and then another one that seems to start where you went back and then curve around to the left, to the northeast. You should be able to see that on the map a little bit, but it just is, looks like it just goes to a deeper portion of the mine where it makes sense to have some carts going there. Even if they can't launch, then at least you can push them along the minecart. But yeah, eyes definitely lift as what look like a bunch of humans and their indent arrive.
Unescorted and alone.
Unescorted. Mm-hmm.
I would have mentioned to Taxes to look out for people who are susceptible to rebellion.
And I'll keep a lookout for people who are susceptible to...
I would say make an insight check.
Do you mean to help? Apparently I'm pretty good.
Oh, wow. I would appreciate the help, because we got a natural 1.
Shit!
11.
Yeah.
I think you're distracted. May I also do
You may also do one. Never.
Fucking...
20.
It's got fucking Tax's sister.
Oh, I thought it was then. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a 14.
14. The majority of people are just getting on with their work, loading up these carts. You see, it's not too difficult to spot. In the corner, there are a couple of people who are talking, definitely paying attention to you. As you catch their eye, they look to back down to the ground and get into their work. As you follow, one of them whispers something to another, and a dwarf goes around a corner and keeps heading sort of west. No, sorry, east, away from you. They're not following you. They look like they've passed on a message and are somebody's going to tell someone that you've arrived.
Okay.
On a 14, that's what you get. Like, somebody was looking at you, they whispered a message to someone, they went off, so probably somebody is being informed that you are here.
Interesting.
Mm.
I'll relay
And
that.
do you say there are no steel wall guards here at all?
Here, it looks like there are 3. There's one on the station, like, managing the launch station, and then there are 2 who are here as security. So there are 3 steel wall guard here.
They don't seem to be sort of... What are they like? Do they seem to be...
Not battle ready, just aware that things are happening. Well rested, which is better than you can say for most of the dwarves in here. So they could quite easily take an unarmed dwarf, and between the 3 of them, they could probably take on many unarmed dwarves together. So they don't need to be more than 3.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Army of unarmed dwarves might be a different story, but that's why they're kept exhausted.
Should we wander away from the guards?
If we are passing one and someone, not a guard, someone else, and they do make eye contact, do we get close enough for that, or do they just kind of shuffle away?
the guards are here in front of you. They recognize Leah, and they have
And
heard
not the
enough
guards.
about. Not the guards.
Someone
With
else.
all, if you try and make eye contact with them, then they realize they really can't. Like, especially if you make an effort of like, look at me, then they're not going to look away. If you're actively looking like you're trying to make eye contact, they're not going to look away. But if you casually do it, they'll think, "Oh no, I've looked at them by mistake," and turn around and walk away.
Yeah.
Depends how forthright you're being in your composure. Are you actively looking like you're trying to make eye contact, or are you just trying to casually look? In which case, they might think, "Oh no, I wasn't meant to do that."
Yeah. No. You know what? I will ask the guards. I will say, no, I won't. No, change my mind again.
I like to think Diana is just like,
Turns round to the point that one of them then locks eyes, and then she's like, "No."
Good day.
you get. Well, while you decide what you would like to do.
Yeah, no, I have decided. It's just who I was going to ask, and then I was like, no, it's a bit sus. I'll ask if the guards are not about. I will make eye contact in a bit of a weird way with one of the indents, non-guards.
One of the indents, you catch is just like. Bows deeply.
Wow. How long have you been here? As in, how many days have you been here right now?
Oh, how many days have I been in the mountain?
Before your you have a rest day, yes.
I'm sorry. I know this. At least 2. I'm sorry. I do know this. One of the dwarves nearby like comes forward and says, "It's been 3 days." She's,
And you?
I'm on the same group as her, so that's how I know. It's been a lot.
And you're going back today or tomorrow? In the next 12 hours.
It is the current plan, eh? It's what we've been told to expect. Sometimes groups get forgotten. That is not to dissuade your great knowledge on that. It's just that we were aware that plans change.
Are they, do they seem like,
They look like they're too tired to lie, so much as they're just trying to be polite.
Yeah, it's more like not lying and stuff. It's more like they're saying all these things, like, do they believe themselves?
They are saying it out of deference, but you can get a hint of like 3 days is how long they should be down here before they're allowed to rest. If you don't think they're lying when they say sometimes groups get forgotten, they're overworked, and then they.
I want to know if these guys are fire.
These ones, make an insight check.
19.
The first woman you were speaking to, no. The one who came over to defend her, there's a little bit of a fire in them where they have a little bit more awareness. They're not just lost to depression of this place.
And what about anyone else that's not in your group? Anyone else who have just arrived?
There's some fresh faces around here, to be sure. If you want, we can point them out to you.
Sure.
What is it exactly you're looking for?
There's like a pause, and then just want to know who the strongest workers are right now.
from yourself passed on.
What's that? Sorry.
So they've had a message that you've given to the dwarves in his mind that's been passed on.
Yeah, I remember what they. Yeah, I did remember.
The strongest workers will be the freshest ones. So you're either looking at those who have had the chance to sleep here, or those who have just arrived. If you're looking at those who've just arrived, he nods towards the group that are picking up like heavy, new-looking pickaxes and are heading south generally. And if you're looking for those who've been here a while, probably want to go further west, east, west, east, east. Sorry.
And those ones have been here for longer than 3 days. Sorry, 3 days.
Gonna make a subject. Disadvantage because he's exhausted. They might have been. Sometimes groups get forgotten.
Got it. Thank you very much. Something that they don't hear very often, so I thought maybe they would perk up.
My name's Talon. If you ever get a chance to recommend me for my ring.
Sure, I will do that. If that is what you really want, I will certainly do that.
Just don't want this.
You know, there are more. There's more in life. Shit. There's more in life than just a ring. And I'm gonna walk away.
As you walk away, you just hear behind you. And you definitely want to head further east.
Got it.
Alan, what was that? Just shut up, keep working. God, keep your head down. Keep shuffling away. And I feel like that is a fairly appropriate place to take a break for the moment. Yes, we will rejoin our not as split party in a short amount of time.
Yeah, we're starting to come back together.
Cool.
Hopefully.
Yeah. At some point we will.
We'll make sure that there's interesting stuff happening outside as well.
There's like 100,000 feet between us.
And 10,000 dwarvish feet underneath the mountain as well.
Exactly.
They're not all dwarves. I keep saying the majority of them are dwarves. And the derogatory term is just, oh yeah, they're all dwarves. No, they're not.
No.
We'll see you very soon.
You seem so full of wit and chivalry, but when we knock at your door, you'll break. We're done. We have fire in our veins, and we will break these chains. We're done. We won't be ripped apart. You will be burned and battle scarred. We're tired of assault and bigotry. We'll stand and mock you viciously. Through music we captivate. Through songs and words we propagate. We'll mock and smear and slander. Infiltration, propaganda. After years is finally resolution. It's time to start the revolution. We're tired of assault and bigotry. We'll stand and mock you viciously. Through music we captivate. Through songs and words we propagate. We'll mock and smear and slander. Infiltration, propaganda. After years is finally resolution. It's time to start the revolution. We're done.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Rapid Riders. We join our party split between the quarters back in Burrowfirth town and deep in the eastern part of the mine in E1 of the mines of Burrowfirth, prison mines. As we left our party, they had been advised to travel a little further east to encounter those who they might be looking for in these mines. And I think we will rejoin our party there as they are traveling through these mines.
Right.
Largely, these are large caverns that you do not have to stoop, even though sometimes you can see tails off into dwarven height areas where they are just following little veins. It looks like in this area, most resources have been tapped to the point where this is just a cavern at this point. But you're following the instructions or the advice of Talon, who has sent you further east here. The party of you at this point, of the four of you, it is Leah, as well as Diana, Taxes, and Dewey.
All right.
Occasional torch post, but for the most part, you have to work with dim light to nearly pitch blackness in here. There's not very much light at all.
Many other people are around as well as us.
It's getting sparser the more you walk. Again, it looks like there's not a lot of work to be done here beyond, well, we can expand this chamber, we can create some stone blocks, and stone blocks have value, not as much as ore, but we can send that back. It doesn't look like, as you go further, the neat, straight causeway structure fades, and there's a little bit more of twisting tunnels, a little bit of ramps up to higher levels here. Make an insight. No, this would be an investigation or a history check as you're watching these workers and the way that they're doing so.
16.
What's that on history or?
Both, because I have plus nothing in either.
You're looking at the way that they're working. You start to feel like, oh, that would be the next logical block to take, and you can cut that. And they're avoiding that. They're going for the next thing. You're like, this ramp up here seems a bit unstable, but from the other side, it's a lot more stable. They've cut stairs into it. You get this slow building of a picture of defensible structures. Almost
Awesome.
like a fortress is being built. It's not like, oh yeah, definitely this, because it's clearly meant to be disguised. But the slow point, like, from this side, you have to go up this way. But if you're a dwarf from the other side, you can man these. You can come up a ramp. You can man the battlements. You can be firing down at people below you with rocks that you have, just throwing down on them. You don't need to have weapons if you can have the height advantage and be throwing rocks.
Keep an eye out for those.
I would. I'll point that out. I'll be sort of like, oh, mistresses, and then step forward and then be like, oh my god, they like point it out and like, you see in this, they are.
Is it completely pitch black as well? Like no one has dark vision.
There are gaps between the torchlight where it is completely pitch black, and you have to just reliably walk forward.
Because I was gonna do. I was like, I have little candles, but that's boring as shit. So I was gonna cast light on a candle.
Okay.
And
that's a good candle.
It's a really good candle. I would like to put like a bit of cloth over the top of it as well, so it's not so obvious. And I'll hand that to Dewey if he wants one of those.
Are you trying to disguise the casting of the spell? I'm not sure what the components are of the light spell.
I don't know.
But it's, I don't know, isn't it kind of like replacing the flame of a candle with like a like an LED?
Pretty much, yeah. But like
There's
basically,
verbal and material. So you either use your bardic focus, which for the most part is your voice. There are still verbal things you have to speak, so you have to silently whisper the spell.
essentially, so I'll just be like, "This is a candle," and I'll be like,
Mhm.
and then I'll hand it to Dewey if that's
Okay. Because you've disguised it, the dwarves who are trying to recognize something weird is happening are going to do it at disadvantage.
cool. That's fine.
Nobody lifts an eye as you walk forward with your disguised candle. Stops you being in pitch blackness at any point, as you have essentially a lantern light with you here. Okay. Continuing to progress further and deeper in. After maybe 20 minutes of seeing increasingly fewer dwarves around here, you begin to realize that you haven't seen one in the last 5 minutes or so at all. You can still hear the soft sound of metal on stone that never leaves, but an actual dwarf.
Grab if anyone's like hidden behind something or like just off in the distance.
Make a perception check.
23.
Nice.
You don't hear anything. You keep walking. The glint of your magical light, you just catch a part of the wall that you swear was just flat wall. There's this ever so slight divot. And as you continue to walk forward and keep your face, you can see there's a slight slit carved into the side, and you begin to realize there are more. You've seen things similar to this. It brings you back to the defenses that you guys had in Ben Lycia for those who were sneaking in those underground tunnels. And if they wanted to crawl through there at this height, there were arrow slits all along the side. Most defenses failed, but this rings that bell of, oh yeah, we're probably surrounded right now.
I'll let the others know quietly. Just kind of point them in subtly in the direction of the owl slits and stuff like that.
I think we're probably far enough away from the wall. You think we perhaps be a bit more open so that we don't get shot or kidnapped and held for ransom?
Well, we can either go. There are many ways that this can go, but I can think of two off the top of my head. If Tax, can you see anything there?
Your perception check was enough to see these slits. To see, like, in them, you'd have to press your eye up against one of them.
Yeah, I don't really want to press my eye up against that.
No, don't do
That sounds
that.
like a good idea.
That's not a great idea.
No. Can I see what Tax's sister is doing as well? Like how she's feeling in this area? She
Passive insight, she seems uncomfortable.
Good.
She this far away from any kind of escort, she trusts that you know what you're doing and that she's going to live. But she clearly has never been this far away from an escort before. She's every little noise, she's just turning her head towards it.
I can. You know that there's that thing that I can do where I pop up somewhere else.
In a minute. Maybe we should just ask.
Yeah.
We're in somebody else's house, after all. Is anybody around?
Sound metal on stone stops. In an instant, you realise that was for your entertainment.
Hi.
Yeah. Shuffling your feet behind you. Shuffling feet in front of you.
Let's uncover the light.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
As the light is able to cast a bit wider now, you see dwarves behind you. Very emaciated looking dwarves, no armor of any kind, except for what look like wooden planks that have been bound together and kept along an arm. And in the other hand, you see these pickaxes. Some of them in some disrepair, but some of them intentionally bent out of shape and to be more useful as weapons. And then in front of you, you see the same thing as they close in. And then leading them at the front, you see a woman with a big wound, not a scar, still healing wound covering one of her eyes. As she is advancing towards you, she looks towards Dewey. That's the only one of you that she would recognize.
Oh!
You all recognize the younger,
Of course.
dwarven woman.
I'll
the
drop
younger
the
Nori.
disguise.
Of the ones we
disguise.
met.
The disguise drops.
I do the opposite. I
Everybody
put my
takes a
shirt up.
step back. You put your hood up.
Can you tell who it is yet?
Leah's just confused looking around. It's completely surrounded and just completely silent, shitting herself, does not know what to do. The younger Nora is looking towards you and says, okay,
Hello.
not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Stand down, and everybody just lowers their weapons.
Oh, good.
Very much improvised weapons. As they begin to go back. Keep up. You check. Make sure they weren't followed. And there's maybe 30 seconds of scuffling of feet before you begin hearing ting ting. The sound like mining is happening here. As you know, somebody has gone to check that you haven't been followed down here and tailed. The younger Nori, you can see now, but she's a bit closer. Something has carved a big chunk of that side of her face. The eye is definitely gone. But on her left, she is still staring you up and down, despite the fact that she is a good 2 feet shorter than most of you.
I'll get closer to her if I can.
What in the darkness are you doing here?
We've come to say hello. And
Hello.
hi. What happened? What happened there?
You butter. New friend I made.
Would that friend notice if it was fixed?
Not this. No.
I'm gonna reach out a hand.
Mm-hmm.
Will they let me? And I'll
I don't know you too well, but they know of you. So yes,
I mean,
they will.
it's actually it's healing wood. That's not.
You don't need to touch it, but you do.
I know it's not. It's not. It's for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So handsy.
Thematic.
You see the wound heals over into more of a scar, but the eye is still gone.
Better.
There's no saving that. That's a lot less painful.
Good.
Thank you.
Fine.
We're undercover.
You are.
What
happened
Not anymore, but yeah.
Plan, Ben Alicia and...
Well.
Sam's gone. Oh no, you're still there.
No,
Sorry,
he's still here.
This wall was so still there.
Genuinely just confused.
Yeah.
That would be a great prank you could do, Sam. Just stay still for a couple of seconds. We'll just assume you're gone.
Yeah. What happened to the plan? Well, the plan. Plans never really. We don't really have a. Plans never really. We don't stick to plans, but we thought we would come and help you guys. Because you needed it.
You do.
Yeah.
Let's go that way. Follow our bases. Let the Elder know we're coming. You're gonna want to see him. And this strange escort begins. They take you slightly deeper into the east. Zeke and Halleck!
Hello.
Pat,
I'm cleaning the walls of shit.
You are. A bucket is provided, but you're being supervised with Vexation giving the biggest mum energy of, I hope you're proud of yourself.
I said I'm sorry. God, stay no to a challenge.
Milo is also having to clean her own shit.
Just like this tiniest little brush.
As you hear the front door open and close, and then Garrick just appears amongst you. It's like, okay,
Give a knock, man. Jesus.
Yeah, that would have been a good idea, actually. Next time. Oh, should we have a seat? We should have an actual knock. Anyway, I did something, but we'll come to that. Lots of people around. Most of them just Empire folk, want to live their life, don't want to put their head above the water, that kind of thing. Temple is further to the north. There is an active smithy, so if we actually need to do some metal work, that's going on. The people there look like they're not all too thrilled about what they're doing, but at the same time, we would need to be there in the day because they couldn't work in the dead of night. But, that's interesting. A tavern right across from where Reluxa makes her holdings. We briefly went there yesterday to introduce ourselves. So I thought I'd, go and check it out a bit more. Yes, So he reaches into his bag and pulls out a jet black morning star. So when you're Kaptani, this is kind of like a badge of office more than anything else, this weapon.
Yeah,
So
it's like this one.
Yeah, like that one that you've got from the other cloak. So if we can disguise ourselves, at least this bit will be genuine and we can present it. No one was using it. So Milo looks up towards you.
You may stop cleaning if you proceed to start throwing at him.
Milo
looks at Garrick and looks at Vex and is like, just keeps cleaning. Does not want to get involved in this.
The desire to throw shit is outweighed by the desire to not be part of this shit.
Mama will find out at some point.
Avoid the shitstorm. Cream of shit, avoid the shitstorm.
We've already had one shitstorm. What another one?
It's better out of their hands, because technically that means she can't go promoting anyone. Nobody saw me.
I thought they would be the issue. But
you might have got someone in trouble by, making that go missing, no?
But, that means somebody over there is in trouble. And that means discordance in the ranks for maybe not paying attention. Any little seeds of discord that we can throw in there, right?
It's such smart.
Thank you.
Or dumb.
The dumbest guy saying that's pretty smart.
Yeah. These two geniuses are like, yeah!
He's just clocked that and he's just like, thank you. and then looks hopefully towards the other two. Even the monkey, he's like, come on.
The monkey. Yeah.
Oh.
Has like a little eyebrow cocked.
Okay, let's say it's not missing. Let's say it's...
word in private.
But let's say it's found somewhere
I
else.
promise I won't hit you.
Okay, that was kind of what I was waiting on. He comes towards you, finds a room that is private. Look, this is good. We can do something with this.
I know we're impulsive, but this is really impulsive.
I saw a chance, and I took it. I literally took it.
Where are we going to put it?
I've been thinking. So, the military and the church are definitely tightly knit.
Mm-hmm.
What if this was found in the church's possession? Just sow a little bit of who's more in charge here. And
So you're attempting to think about putting dissension in the ranks, then?
Maze.
yeah,
Wonderful. Do you know even who the Taskmaster specifically dislikes? Do we know whether the person who's in charge of the temple is a bad person? Do we know if they are just some indoctrinated kid?
from what I could see, it was a relatively old man. I don't think they could have been indoctrinated. Yeah, they could have been indoctrinated from birth, but you know, they had a long time to figure their shit out.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Then that one I'll forgive you.
As for the rest of it, don't you, I know, but the trigger finger's fucking itchy. I understand that you guys know what you're doing.
I can't be mad. I'm not mad. I'm not mad.
Okay.
I'm surprised.
I'm just disappointed.
No, I would. That's something my mum says to me. I will never say that to another human being.
Good, because I was thinking it would really help if maybe a small child were to call out if there was a fire.
Baby, you're so smart.
And then I could get in a little bit easier. And then...
Okay.
Make a fire.
How about this?
It doesn't have to be a fire. It just has to be...
Make a fire.
How about this?
Make a fire.
I proceed to attempt to do the adult thing that I've been attempting to do with you while I can separate you for a while now. And provided you respond reasonably well to it, I will proceed to be done for you.
Okay.
Sit. Wasn't a question.
There was a pause like, oh man, I've just realised I do not like being told what to do at all.
Yeah.
But they do sit. They do.
Okay.
Lies, he's a sub.
100% sub.
Yeah. He's best. Anyway.
So, for the first time that Garrick's actually seen, I'm actually going to show some affection towards him. And I'm going to walk up and grab both of his hands. I'm just going to look at him and just go, look at me and tell me honestly. None of the braggart bullshit. None of the I'm a tough gnome that can get through anything shit. Man to man. What's your plan after this? Because you've just made a big commitment to who is now the figurehead of this rebellion. What's your plan? because you need one. Doesn't have to be just yours. I recommend that it's not just yours. I recommend that you talk to her about it and figure out what the two of you want to do. But flying by the seat of your pants, running and jumping off into the middle of a town, yeah, admittedly you can go invisible, but you saw how quickly that stuff got put down with us. You've committed to someone. That means you've got to think about them, not just what your whims want at that given point. Now tell me, what do you think you're going to do after this?
Zeke, man to man, I respect you enough to tell you no lie. I wish I could tell you I just want to go settle down on a little farm, raise a family. Truth is, I've been living so long that day to day was nothing, and that I was never thinking past tomorrow. But having to think past tomorrow, it's a skill I'm getting used to.
I know it's scary as hell.
Yeah. So, if I were to tell you anything right now of what my plan was, beyond wherever fate leads me, I would be lying to you.
Okay. Do you have an out?
If I don't want to be found, if
Do
I
you
don't
have
want...
Do you have enough money to make sure that the two of you have an out?
I can find enough money. People are so lax with it when we're not looking at it.
I am going to place 200 gold into his hand and just go, that is your and her escape fund. Nothing else. If you need to go and the rest of us can't be saved, you go and you live a good life with the two of you. I'm just gonna just gently put my fist to his chest and just go, promise me
I promise you.
that if this all goes tits up, that if you two are the last two left, that you will go and you will be happy somewhere.
He looks like he's about to make the promise and then cuts himself short.
Or at least try.
I can promise you that we can get out of here. I can promise you we can go find somewhere far from this empire. 200 gold's enough pieces to do it. I can't promise you that either of us will be happy if the fight's still going and we're not here. Even if we're not all here to fight it anymore. But I can promise you that I will try and convince her that living, thriving away from this place is a victory of its own. But
The next choice that this rebellion has is, if we die here, is to tell the North what is coming. It's to prepare them together. Not one country, not any of those tiny states that they are, all of them. Together. You two. I can't do that. I love Dewey, but Dewey can't do that. I love Hal, but Hal can't do that. Taxes can probably blackmail someone into doing a couple of other things, but it's you, Diana, and it's Vex. You three are the only ones that can maybe the 4 of you can get up there and you can convince them that it's coming, that we've seen it. We know what they're preparing to do. Christ, we got the wedges to prove it. But I need you to promise me that if things go this way, that you will try and save them up there if you can't save all of us down here.
I promise.
He's going
Pass the message.
He's going to leave the gold in his hand and walk out of the room.
Okay. We will leave that scene there as we rejoin Prue under the mountain. You pass a couple of dwarves. Again, there's no capacity to make armor down here, but banded wood with some iron bent around it as best as they can to make shields and some rudimentary war picks in their hands. That they can do, and they have done so plentifully. This place looks more and more like a fortress or even a castle under a mountain as you begin to take corridors. As the younger Nori leads you to a open chamber. It's not quite as grandiose as a throne room, but carved from the stone is a seat where you see the older Nori is being attended to by a few people. And as they are waved away by the younger Nori, you see that the elder, who you saw only a few days ago, is much weaker than you remember them. They have a large wound in their side. They are clutching as they are looking towards the rest of you. Whatever it seems younger Nori's friend is, the older better as well. They are just looking towards you. You sent me a message, and I passed it on.
Did.
But I don't fully understand what's changed. I'm glad you're here. Borothurf needs you.
And that's why we're here. I'm gonna walk up to him.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm allowed. People gonna
Yeah.
touch me.
There's some looks as you approach, but nobody stops you.
I wanna do like a handshake thing.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not this hand, it'll be that hand. Does he accept it? Am I killed outright?
A bloodied hand comes away from the wound, which you see fairly deep, but healing, maybe beginning to fester a little, and takes yours.
Is it something that I can heal?
Okay.
I will heal it at 2nd level because I don't have many left. Well,
It heals. Doesn't look like it's perfect again. He leans back a little bit and it definitely pulls a little bit. It's not perfectly right. That scar is going to still be painful for the rest of his life,
yeah.
but he's going to live.
Infections, etc. So
We don't have magic down here.
No.
That is a miracle.
considering your circumstances, this is amazing.
How the
What you've
hell?
done here.
How in the hell did you do this?
Yes. Chipping away at walls. That's what we were built to do.
How did they not notice?
Grace of Dulbora or blind luck. I like to think a little bit of effort had something to do with it. They don't want to send their scouts this far deep into the mountain. And if they do, they don't come back.
They've had the bad news is that they have requested new people to come in and map and make a tally of all the people. The good news is, that's us. That's
His eyes, like, eyes don't widen, but an eyebrow goes up at that. It's like, I trust you don't know what happened to your predecessor.
It's this one.
No. Could you?
Oh,
The
yeah.
one before
no,
that
they,
one.
Could you enlighten us?
Fired.
Well, yeah, what
didn't
did they say it was? It was like...
They got fired.
They got fired, yeah.
Good
They got
dwarven,
Oh yes, they
fireworked.
did tell us. Yeah.
good dwarven powder was wasted.
Ah.
You have
Far
that
better to
here
sell.
too.
Eyes like lock with yours. Maybe we do.
Cool.
Good. You asked why we're here. Well, we weighed up all the options, and we have to go somewhere, and we decided to come here. After hearing what it was like, and it was, yeah, we didn't like that, and you guys deserve to be free. So first you guys, and then maybe when you're out, we could spread over the empire, you know?
This is to be where it begins in earnest. I would be glad.
I feel like you
I
have
mean-
the fire in you. From what we've
You're
seen,
carving yourself. I'm sorry.
from what we've seen, a lot of people don't.
I just need to remember. Those in this hall where you stand, remember that long ago the dwarven holds were not limited to the east. Any great mountain where it stood was ours to shape, and it will be again.
That's what you're doing here, yeah? You're carving yourselves a new hold.
We will reform our clan here. Taken from our home, we will make a new. And if the mantle has passed to me, then I will lead Clan Borough. The door to the outside, it can send soldiers marching through here. Faster than they can blow up one of our own with black powder. So, we need to cut them off. If we want to do that, we'd want to make sure that all of our own are inside, and anybody left inside are those we are confident won't be walking out again. You had two others with you. Tall one, short one. Where are they?
They're not easily disguised, so they've stayed in town. Taskmaster was kind enough to give us her little holiday at home.
They run their fingers through a very old, not so much as stone dust filled beard. A little bit of blood is still on it. There's only two ways that we know in and out of this mountain. One's the way you came, one's the way that we came. I don't recommend either. But if you can get them through a front entrance, even if somebody's chasing them, we might be ready to bring that wall down.
How many you have your? When we came in, we were told that the east was where we wanted to go. You obviously have your east. What about everybody else? How loyal do you think they'll be? How would they even know what was happening? They're exhausted.
A furtive glance between the elder and the younger Nori. Before the elder looks back to your eyes. Out in the west, there is one who calls himself Octa Stormber.
Is that the one with the bright red hair?
He does, but nobody's seen him in a while. But he leads a cult who dye their beards red with blood. They pick out new folk, tired folk. I don't know what they're doing there. But I don't trust it.
They're not working with you.
Seem to have their own plan.
You don't trust him. Interesting.
Something rubs me wrong about them.
That's probably the fact they're putting loads of blood in their beard. That's really weird.
Yeah.
I never shake the thought when we meet that he's not whole of mind. Then, north of here, if I tell you what I'm about to tell you, I need to know I can trust all of you. And he looks pointedly towards Leah.
Yes, this one.
I'll look at my sister. I'll give her the fucking eye. Like, do not mess this up.
Fee scans towards you. What the fuck what am I supposed to do here? Am I a rebel now? Is this me?
Either that or you die.
I will.
She sees you signing it as well and says, I had a fucking plan.
I will feed camp back. You have a choice. You
Rests her head in her
either
hands. Just...
quiet and stay, or you go. I will not betray you. You do not betray me.
I'm going to ask Taxes to make a persuasion check here. You can
See
have
if
help,
Taxes has listened.
assistance. You can have advantage because you're being helped.
Because I'm
But this
feed
is-
counting it, so I'm not actually speaking it.
only you could really make this check.
Well, it's 13. It was either a natural
Glad.
1 or a 13, so.
Glad you got that advantage.
I kinda listened.
Yeah, it wasn't shit.
Could have been.
Just
Could have been.
replies to Fees Campus had better fucking work.
I want to insight her to make sure she's not bullshitting me.
Make an insight check.
Do you need help?
Apparently tonight. 27. No, I
Okay,
don't.
good.
She is in a situation where she really doesn't have much of a choice, but you feel convinced, at least for the time being, she's not going to run to the Taskmaster with this. She has chosen which grave she'd rather lie in, and it's against the Empire rather than with it. She might be convinced she's going to die either way, but she's not going to.
Probably true.
She's not going to turn around and betray you in the next couple of days, at the very least.
Wow.
If there are...
I will turn to the elder person and be like, based on my you have my word that you can trust her.
To your oath.
Hmm?
In the north, near the station marked as E2, there is a deep dwarf named Ricardus. Spelled R-I with the 2 dots, and I'm not sure what accent that is. It's like an umlaut kind of looking thing. Okay, K-A-H-A-R-D-U-Z. Ricardus.
Bloody hell, Sam.
It had, I was looking up pencil off of the deep dwarves, they had to be appropriately.
Difficult to spell. That was the. Yes.
He is one of the path of order in the Deep Kingdom.
One of the path of what?
Order.
He knows the ways beneath the earth. I told you there are 2 ways out of this mountain.
Oh.
One of them is out the front, and the other is through the shadow roads.
I just assumed the other way out was up. It's not.
Ugh.
Do I know what a deep dwarf is?
You must
Do
go
we have a
deeper.
clue? No.
You might
Okay.
have never met one in your life. They do not tend to come out from the sunlight for love nor money.
I have just
Probably
assumed that a
the-
deep dwarf is a dwarf that lives deep in this mine.
Yes.
Out of everyone, probably
Deep
Diana
wolf.
is the only person who would have any idea who a Drengir is.
Thank you.
Drengir. Shadow roads. Do we know what?
This is a nature check or a history check. Nature's going to be your best option here, I believe. Knowledge of the world and natural order of things.
Wow.
That good, huh?
Yeah. Well, no. Yes, it's 25 history.
Oh shit! Right. Okay.
Or yeah, or it's was it nature? It's 23 nature. So.
I'm going to take the 23 check so you can get more information.
Okay.
What, as players, we might recognize in other settings as the Underdark. The Shadow Roads is to Osasris, a deep series of connected tunnels, caves that contain a multitude of strange and bizarre creatures that never see sunlight. There are civilizations down there, few because it is so dangerous, but among them are the Drengir, who are the deep dwarves. The dangers of traveling down there are innumerable. The monsters that come up from that place often have no concept of peace, love, or mercy. And those who would wish to travel by such routes must be mad or born to the darkness. Truly, truly desperate. Given that these dwarves did not come by the front door, you're beginning to recognize why these 2 were so severely wounded upon their return from your meeting.
Oh.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah.
The problem with the Drengir that we were followed up from the Shadow Roads. For the time being, that path is blocked unless somebody can go in there and clear it out.
Oh boy.
Halai is excited.
Unless we do something soon. Camp Hayden's is not going to be the last stop. The last stop is going to be right near Belmare, and the Empire will have their causeway to the north.
Where is the entrance to the Shadow Roads on the outside?
from there would be thrown. Let me show you. Let's get to work. And I think that is an appropriate place to leave this episode. Unless there's something burning you wanted to ask.
No? Yeah?
Yeah?
My only thing was like what are your plans and what are your timescales? Because obviously they are making weapons and stuff. So
their plan was, as they
yeah,
I sort of intonated but didn't say outright, is that they want to essentially blow up the entrance so that a cave-in blocks anybody from coming in or any big army marching in to clear them out, and then form the proper clan borough down here, form a hold and form a foothold here. Obviously, your plan is to escort them out of here so that you can launch an attack on Ben Lycia, but that might be possible, just not out of a front entrance. If that was her plan, would have to go via the Shadow Roads, which is not impossible,
Ideal,
just
but
difficult to do. For timescale, yeah, it would still be like a month before they finish this causeway. So before that happens, they would want to launch this attack. Otherwise, there's no point anymore. They'll come in, they'll clear out the dwarves, they will use this as a causeway.
Okay, cool.
There's potential in the future to finish what the Empire started and make it so it's not just the Shadow Roads as the only way out of here. They can make their own path out of the north and have it for themselves. But yeah, that would be.
You need to be in control of it.
They need supplies in here. They need to get that either via the Shadow Roads. But yeah, we might be going to the kind of Underdark, baby.
We get to see the Shadow Roads.
Or it kills us instantly.
Welcome to my hell.
This is this. You'll see what comes out of Ben's brain now. Oh no.
Speaking of, Sam, if at any point you would like to have a conversation
yes.
about the other things that are down there, because there are many more that aren't currently in the drive, let me know.
Yeah.
Yes, we will. We'll make some monsters together.
This excites me deeply.
This does not excite me.
Under deeply.
This makes
even further from the sun.
nervous.
Yeah.
Oh yikes.
I know what's guarding the thing at the moment, but we can definitely alter it and make it worse.
Oh no, it's fine.
Make it worse.
Oh, don't worry, Doran. There's plenty worse down there.
I'm also very much liking that there's a number of plot hooks involved in this, like what the fuck is going on in the west side. That sounds just as terrifying.
I want to meet dwarfs, but bloody beard dwarfs.
Yeah, something not right there either, is there?
It's not.
But yeah.
Oh, dearie me. Do I show Sam my CR30?
I mean, like, not on Twitch.
Not
We'll get banned.
No, why would you do that? Do not show him that shit.
Do it.
Yeah, so I was also going to suggest to them that if as new people, it would be good that we go down the west side.
Yeah.
Happening on the west side. Let's not throw a gang sign.
I can't do that shit.
That's fine. That's not a real gang sign.
Yeah, to see what's happening and to potentially use my very high deception and persuasion skills on the cult of the Redbeards.
Redbeards.
The Redbeards, yeah, that's a thing we can do. Cool. That was
Thank you,
amazing.
That was a lot
great.
of fun.
It's a world under the mountain as a whole power struggle happening down here, and yeah, they had a plan, and they're very welcome to stick with that plan or make your own one. But that was their like. This is the equivalent of we're gonna set that barge on fire and steal its stuff. This is the way that they were gonna fight the Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're here
I
to
thought
help,
they would
and,
be.
Exactly.
I
More
thought they
barges.
might be digging their own tunnels and things, but I didn't realise that they would have.
They kind of had to dig their own tunnel
Established.
into the Shadow
Yeah,
Roads to begin with. Yeah,
That makes sense.
that's what their
That makes
equivalent of digging their own tunnels was. But then when you got the Shadow Roads, you just go to the Shadow Roads.
They dug too deep. Now the monsters are coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, but
It's more like a monster followed. Like they had to find a way to meet the rebellion, so they took the Shadow Roads, and then a monster followed them on the way back, and very nearly, like magical intervention and healing. Who knows if that wind would have festered and gotten rotten.
tasty, tasty morsels.
Yeah, it's not been that many days since you were. But since you were there, to be honest, they had maybe a day's head start on you, and you had horses. So they clearly had some way of traveling quickly down there.
Yeah.
Well, there's plenty of ways of traveling quickly. It's just whether traveling quickly is a good idea.
Oh yes.
I have a really dumb plan.
I
I like
Probably
dumb
not
plans.
Going
not
to
gonna
tell it.
Does it involve bringing monsters up from the Shadow Roads?
Don't know why.
I mean, Swarm Keeper.
These birds are wrong.
You just said that. All I imagined was fucking canaries in all the cages starting to rattle to make noise.
Just no, just spatting against the cage.
Just John Carpenter's The Thing, only it's all canaries just
No.
splitting their heads open like.
Sideways.
Well, we'll
yeah.
have to find out how that goes next week.
Yes.
Wait, is it next week or is it the week after?
It
Oh,
is next week.
Is
Yeah,
It is
we're
next week.
doing
It is
it.
next week. Okay, cool.
Next week?
Cool.
I think
Cool.
so.
Yes.
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 Yes. In the meantime, if people want to catch other streams, catch what we're doing, probably the best place to keep on track of everything is our Discord, which is in the track right now.
Ow.
We've got right now. We have a great community on there. We have just talk about games, talk about tabletop RPGs. There's like a DM's corner of like helping people playing role-playing games like this. But also, if you want to follow events of what Fumble folks are doing in real life, online streams, that kind of thing. Yeah. I'm not the best person to sell all of this because I do not run the show. I'm just running
I'll do it now.
or DMing this show. Not even running this one. I'm just DMing it.
Yeah, we got a good.
You already.
Yeah, we got a good DM section because we have taken to doing events where we're like learn to play events and things like that. We've got a lot. We've got like a starter bundle of one shots that you can see just behind Bree's head there. If she moves it, it's a little bit. There we go. There we go. Yeah, we have those for sale if I can copy paste correctly,
Yeah,
which is a basic thing to do.
Two things
But
at
I
once
can't.
because you
I
cannot
was so
do it.
smooth. It was so smooth with the Discord link. There we go.
Yeah.
Um,
I could do it, and you could do the links.
I could do it, and you could do it too.
Yeah. But yeah, we have these
Sure.
on sale on our Etsy, and we also have them on our website. You can do that. You can get them actual physical copies, yay! And also digital on Drive-Thru RPG, if that is the way you wanna swing. I'm glad it's got a chuckle. Yeah, sure. We also have our pre-launch for our Kickstarter happening right now. We are
That's
going to
terrifying.
launch on Spoopy Day, the 31st of October. We are making a ritual spell book because Diana wants to do more spells, and and also a witchy class to go with it. So you can play a witch. You could play a clairvoyant or voodoo witch or shaman. How exciting! Yay!
Lots of stuff to be announced, but
lots of stuff coming up, and that is in its pre-launch stage. So if you click on the link, and then sign up to be notified, just follow, and then Kickstarter will tell you all about it. But yes, that is us right now.
Exciting.
In the next few days, I'm going to be putting the Oz stream that we did last week. It's currently still on Twitch if you want to have a look at it, and it'll be on our YouTube in the next couple of days. So have a look at that. We will. We might.
Will we?
I don't know.
Sure?
Yeah. That's why I can see everyone's going, oh no, what is she doing now? No, I have another Riders Digest to do, so that will be going up soon as well. You can get them if you are a patron of ours, and you can see what we talk about behind the scenes and how we feel, because this is called Emotions and Dragons. How we feel about this situation.
Barely Rapid
Probably
Riders anymore.
sad.
Now just Emotions and Dragons.
Probably sadness. No, it's fine. It's so good. But yes, that is on our patrons. What?
We rename Rapid Riders Emotions and Dragons. Can we rename the Riders Digest to Emotions and Discussions?
Yes, canon. But yes, come and join us for all those amazing things. We will be doing the second part of Oz. If you did catch the first part of Oz, we got arrested.
The one shot.
So it's probably at least one more of those. And Andrew Kolb, sorry for the future. He's gonna play.
Sorry that you have to deal with us.
Yeah.
Hey, Andrew. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry.
But also, thank you. Thank you very, very much. But
also thank you,
sorry.
but also not sorry in a way, because it's really fun. So yeah, we'll be doing that not next week, but the week after, if you are interested.
If anybody watching is Bristol or near Bristol, we're going to a traders fair at the Bristol Comic Con on Saturday as well. So we'll have a stall there. Come and say hi.
In the store,
Yeah.
Bristol IRL.
We have a banner and we have a table and we're super professionals.
We're real. I'm a real boy.
We're real people.
We're a real boy.
I'm a real boy. Yeah. That didn't work.
Okay.
Right, we need to find someone to raid quickly.
Yes.
Really?
We are
That's
raiding a little dicey D&D. They're doing obviously D&D. I believe they're doing some D&D. Yeah. D&D.
But yes, thank you everyone so much for joining us. We love you all indubitably. Indefinitely.
Large. Laugh.
That's a large word.
It is.
But yes. Thank you everyone for watching. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Oh.
The time has come.